welcome to Star Wars Infinite. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about my love for Star Wars and how I became a fan. Kind of like my journey. So I've always been aware of Star Wars since I was a kid. Even though I didn't watch the movies in my childhood, I still knew about Star Wars, and I even had one of those toy lightsabers, like one of those cheap ones from Walmart, where you kind of just like press a button and it makes like the lightsaber noise. And I knew just from popular culture that Darth Vader was Luke's dad, and it was a big deal. But for some reason, like, despite thinking that these characters are cool, they look cool, and they seem cool, I never watched or got into Star Wars until March of this year, at 23 years old. So in March, I was still staying inside a bit because of COVID. And I hope those listening to this are safe and healthy, by the way. And I was just kind of bored one day in March, and my best friend, he was on Twitch, and he was playing a game called Battlefront 2. And I remember thinking while watching, like, damn, that looks pretty sick. He was like playing in a one-on-one duel, and it just looked really fun to play, just dueling one-on-one with the lightsabers. Just seemed like a really fun like type of battle game to play, even though I wasn't really into Star Wars at the time. So my best friend, he told me to buy the game, that was cheap, and that even though like it came out like a few years back, I think it came out in 2017, that a lot of people still played it and were active on the servers. So I downloaded it, and I played it quite a lot after that first day. I distinctly remember choosing Darth Maul as a character I wanted to play with. He looked so freaking dope in his all black Sith apprentice robes. And not to mention, he had a double-bladed lightsaber, which I had never seen before, because like I said, I never watched the movies, so I didn't see The Phantom Menace. I just knew about the just the single hilt or whatever single hilt lightsaber that Luke had or Darth Vader had. So seeing that was really cool in the video game. And I remember playing heroes versus villains, and like all these characters were saying emotes like, "This is where the fun begins," or "Now you will experience the full power of the dark side." I know, that was a really bad Palpatine impression. I'm trying to get better. Just be patient with me on that. But yeah, I heard those during the game, during the match, and I just felt kind of left out, Like, I felt that one friend. I felt like I was that one friend that doesn't know the inside joke. Like, I was like, damn, okay, I need to watch the Star Wars movies. This looks really cool. I want to know these quotes that everyone's saying in the games. And the rest is history. Trying to remember, I think I watched all 9 movies, starting with the original trilogy, then the prequels, then the sequels, in a span of a month. So I think I finished it by like the end of April, or something like that. And since then, I've rewatched them a bunch of times. I also watched the entire Clone Wars series right before the Bad Batch began on May 4th. I also finished both seasons of Mando. I've read multiple comics and books, from Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, to Revenge of the Sith Novelization, to Dooku Jedi Lost, things like that. And I'm watching Rebels and Bad Batch concurrently, so I've put in a lot of work since March. I don't even want to say work. I've put in a lot of enjoyment and time into this saga that I've come to love. And I just want to share with you all the point of this episode, podcast, YouTube video, whatever, today is to share with you all a few reasons why I love Star Wars, especially as a relatively new fan. I think it's always pretty cool to hear opinions from people who are just brought into uh, a saga like Star Wars. So yeah, so let me get started. Need to catch my breath there. Sorry. I'm very new to this recording thing. I'm gonna get back to talking about why I love Star Wars. So the first reason is the characters. I just love all of them. Like the storytelling, the character arcs. I mean, they're just amazing. Like my favorite character is Anakin, and I'm not sure if there's a better written character in cinematic television media history. And that's not hyperbole. I truly believe Anakin's tragic fall to the dark side, to becoming Darth Vader, was perfect. And even in some ways was relatable, as we all have to battle with our dark sides every day. And I don't want to say relatable in a way where like we're gonna kill younglings, like nothing like that. All right, just relatable in a way that I feel like all of us can just relate to those constant battles we have with each other, or within ourselves each and every day of our lives. Some days we just can't tame our dark side. And other characters who in the movies I felt like we didn't get enough of, or I wanted to learn more about, like they were expanded in other forms like books, TV, comics, and things like that. And I can't think of two better examples than Count Dooku and Darth Maul. So Maul was looking so cool in The Phantom Menace. He was really menacing and awesome to look at, and not to mention his acrobatic lightsaber skills. And so after TPM, I honestly didn't like how he just kind of died off. I felt like they could have done more with him, if that makes sense, like at the time, after watching TPM. And they did, especially in the Clone Wars. His return was so awesome, and they really did his character justice and made him important, as we all thought he should have been after The Phantom Menace. You don't create a character that cool looking, that skilled in lightsaber combat, just to have them killed off like that in a movie, in one movie. And Dooku, his finesse and confidence in the prequels were so badass. And he was a former Jedi, so I really wanted to learn more about him after I watched the prequels. And I did in the book, what was the book? Dooku, Jedi Lost. I won't spoil it for anyone, just in case y'all haven't read it. But after reading that book, he became my second favorite character in all of Star Wars. No joke. His story was just beautifully told in the book, and it was super cool to learn more about his days at the Jedi Temple, his upbringing as a Jedi, more about his family, Sereno, and things like that. And also even minor characters who seemingly don't matter, like in the movies, they actually end up mattering a lot in other forms of like media where, you know, Star Wars just decides to make them super important, and really cool. And I think one perfect example for that, at least for me, was Jocasta Nu. So she was the chief librarian of the Jedi Archives, and she like barely makes an appearance in the films. But she was actually really badass in the canon comic Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith by Charles Soule. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. But I don't want to spoil that either if you haven't read it. But she basically stands up to Vader and shows him up, and even believe, if I remember correctly, fights him a bit, all while trying to protect the archives from Vader and Palps. It was super cool, and I would have never thought of her like that. It just goes to show that everyone matters in Star Wars, and I think that's just a really beautiful concept. And the second reason I love Star Wars is that it's timeless. So the second reason, I'll explain that a bit more, and it's actually the reason why I chose to call myself Star Wars Infinite. So, let's see. Oh, I'm trying to remember. So, okay. Yeah, so in the Star Wars Archives book, episodes 4 through 6, author Paul Duncan interviewed the legend himself, Mr. George Lucas. In one conversation exchange between the two, Lucas described how he views Star Wars and how it kind of bridges the gap for society. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, "We want other people to believe what we believe, because we have the truth and they don't have the truth." These comments, at least to me, they hold true to almost every aspect of our lives, whether it be religion, politics, entertainment, etc. You have people arguing that their religion is correct, or that their policy views are correct. And then Lucas kind of builds upon that, and he says, as to why he created Star Wars, we need something that builds compassion as opposed to selfishness. Star Wars is based on a symbiotic relationship. There is a God, or a force, or something that's bigger than we are. And so this really opened my eyes to the beauty of Star Wars. And I really do think most people will agree, or at least acknowledge, that there may be something out there beyond us, such as a force, as Lucas described it. Because of that, I really think everyone can just relate to Star Wars and build compassion for each other. Think about it. Another major theme is the light side versus the dark side in Star Wars. I have no doubt in my mind that all 7+ billion people on the Earth battle their dark sides every day. I mean, you hear this all the time in movies and epics, sagas, and things like that. A constant battle between good and evil within ourselves. And Lucas said in the book, you can't be 100% good person. Don't batter yourself because you aren't perfect. But at the same time, if you go to the light side, you will find more happiness and things will work better. And just how can you not agree with that statement? To me, at least, these concepts that Lucas describes as key principles to Star Wars are timeless. They're infinite. So the third reason is going to be really short. It's kind of just me. My fantasies, my childish fantasies are coming out. It's just really cool. But third reason why I love Star Wars is just because of the the lightsabers. I mean, that's so freaking cool. A freaking sword that's a laser. I mean, you don't even have to be a kid to just think that's cool. I think anyone at any age will think that's cool. And space battles and traveling around a galaxy that has so many different planets. You have Tatooine with 2 suns. You have Naboo, which literally is my favorite planet. I wish I could go to Naboo, for vacation or something, and talk to Padme, because Padme. Yes, okay, yeah, Padme. And just Star Wars, man, it's all so, excuse my language, it's just fucking cool. I won't even explain more about this, or it's pretty self-explanatory. Star Wars is just freaking cool. I want to thank you all for tuning into this YouTube and podcast today. Your support really does mean a lot to me, especially as I'm just starting out. It was super fun to share my story and just share my love for the saga. And please do let me know in the comments why you love Star Wars and just the impact it has had on you. And please don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying this content. A link in the description. A link will be given in the description to my other socials, podcast, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, things like that. So please check that out. Thanks, everyone. May the Force be with you.